So what I want to do here is I want to show you guys briefly just that cleaning up outliner stuff again. And this is actually, I've done it a couple times in other videos, but I figured just doesn't takes a minute for me to show it again, at least on the clock radio and the menu videos. But you see there's some history here, and I kind of made sure to transform the object a little bit. And of course, if we go to Windows, Outliner, right? There's your outliner, and you can kind of see some of the groupings it's created, right? That we don't necessarily want. It's got some weird transforms in there. So remember, one of the biggest things I always do is I just kind of select the object. I go to Edit, Delete by Type History, and you'll notice that kind of gets rid of all the history on the object. In this case, it gets rid of all the groups. But remember, if there is still a group there, right? Remember, it's kind of always going to have a plus in the red arrow one, right? If you see a plus in front of something like this guy, don't worry about that. But if you see a plus in front of kind of the little red arrows ones, that's what you want to worry about. But Edit, Delete by Type History. And that kind of took care of that. Double click, right? And that kind of just brings up your ability to name it. Windows, Outliner, right? That brings this up, right? So Windows Outliner. Of course, if you right click on the word Outliner, you can close that tab if you don't want it up. And then, of course, there is the Modify Freeze Transformations, right? That gets those all zeroed out. And of course, if you need to ungroup, right, you just select the group in Outliner, right? Windows Outliner. Whenever there's a group in there, you just go to Edit, Ungroup, and it will ungroup it. Now, sometimes you might have groups with inside of groups, so you might have to ungroup a couple of times, right? Depending on how many times you combine, separated, booleaned, or extracted, duplicated, you might have a group inside of a group inside of a group. So if you ungroup and you still see some groups in there, ungroup until there's no more of those pluses with the red arrows. And that should work pretty well as a quick rundown of that. But remember, you can actually look at earlier videos too. Usually I do a separate outliner cleanup video in the earlier projects. So technically there's already videos for this, but I like to kind of do it for each one. So that would be, I think, good for that one.